going on, everybody? Top 10 Pokemon here, and today I will be reviewing our top Pokemon card auctions of the week. Unfortunately, this week I am unable to be on video myself, but I didn't want to pass up this week. The show must go on, but never fear. Next week, y'all are going to see my pretty face once again, but I did want to cover the auctions this week because we had a ton come through via PWCC auctions, so I wanted to cover all the prices that these cards went for. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to give this video a like. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. So without further ado, let's get into it here with our first auction of the week, and that was this Charizard Reverse Holographic from Evolutions in PSA 10 that went this week for $430. And then we had the regular Charizard Holographic that sold for $2,100 as a PSA 10, which is significantly less than we've seen in the past several months. This is probably the lowest priced PSA 10 holo from Evolutions for this Charizard card that I've seen yet. But however, we had from Burning Shadows this Charizard GX in PSA 10 that sold for over $4,000 this week in PWCC auction. $4,069 to be exact. So this card was had a surprising auction end this week, considering I think last week it went below $3,000. So nice to see this card really catch up in value. We had a couple Black Label cards to go over. We had this Charizard V from Champion's Path that sold for $2,850, and another copy sold for $3,300 this week. Alright, we have a couple cool comparisons here to go over. From Shining Fates, we have the Charizard VMAX in PSA 10 that sold for $760, which is about where it's been selling for the past several weeks, but when you compare it to a Black Label BGS 10, that card sold for $7,300, so nearly 10 times the amount of a PSA 10 for this BGS 10 Black Label copy. Alright, these are pretty interesting here. We have some Scream promos. We have this Pikachu Scream promo that in a PSA 10 sold for $1,825, and then you had one sell as a CGC 10 that sold slightly more at $1,885, and then you had the BGS 10 pristine copy that sold for $3,852, so nearly $2,000 more for the BGS copy in comparison to the PSA and CGC copies. And the same goes for the Mimikyu Scream promos. We had a PSA 10 go for $2,575, and then the BGS 10 sold for $4,025 this week. Alright, we have a couple of very interesting Japanese promos to go over. These are actually some modern Japanese promos. We had a 2016 Mew Japanese promo that sold for $2,365, and then the Pikachu from the same promo set sold for $2,951. Here we have a BGS 10 of the Poncho Pikachu. He's wearing the Mega Charizard. This sold for $1,811, and you had another one sell for $2,150 this week. And then you had a 20th anniversary Pikachu holo in PSA 10 that sold for $5,000 even. I believe I covered this Pikachu card in my top 10 most expensive Pikachu cards of all time video, and it's easy to see why this card is just so eye-catching. There's so much going on, so much character. You got the three starters there surrounding Pikachu. I mean, what is not to love about this card? And finishing up with our Japanese promos here, we have the Shining Mew. This is a 2001 card that sold for $3,227 this week. And then the number one Japanese promo that I had seen come by this week was this number 2 trainer from the Neo Summer Battle in PSA 7 that sold for $19,100. So folks, the moral of the story is the only kind of PSA 7 that you're going to see reach this kind of price is going to be a Japanese promo. Alright, let's get into some set cards here. From Call of Legends, we had a Dialga holo in PSA 10 that sold for $1,575, and then the Entei holo from the same set sold as a PSA 10 for $1,625. Alright, some Gold Star cards sold this week. We had the Raikou from EX Unseen Forces Gold Star that sold for $1,156, and then the Suicune Gold Star sold for $1,810. Celebi from EX Crystal Guardians in PSA 10 sold for $2,125, and then you had a Mudkip from EX Team Rocket Returns as a PSA 10 sell for $5,500. This is a very low population Gold Star card right here, folks. Also from EX Team Rocket Returns, we had a Snorlax EX in PSA 10 sell for $1,825, and then the Mewtwo EX sold for $2,100. We had an Entei PSA 10 that sold for $841, a surprisingly low price considering what Pokemon this is. And then lastly for this set, we had this Suicune EX in PSA 10 that sold for $1,275. Folks, this might very well be my favorite Suicune card of all time. I'm just really digging the dark vibes from it. I'm really feeling the hollow ice crystals beside it. The overall appeal of this card, I don't know, it just calls out to me. I'm in love with this card. I think I might have to get this card, folks. It's beautiful. We had a couple of EX cards to go over here. This Raichu EX from the Emerald set sold as a PSA 10 for $1,425. Folks, I'm going to be honest with you, as I always am, and give you my opinion. This card is just probably the worst. I think this is the worst Raichu card ever made. It's just so bland. You know, there's just nothing drawing it to me. There's nothing calling out to me. I don't know, folks. I'm just not liking this card at all, but that's not going to stop it from getting over $1,400 in value. And then we had a Vaporeon EX from Delta Species that sold in a PWCC auction for $2,426. A couple Shining cards to go over here. From Neo Destiny, we had a first edition Shining Tyranitar sell for $3,660. And then the Shining Mewtwo sold for $4,311. From Neo Revelation, we had a Shining Magikarp first edition sell for $4,725, and then the Shining Gyarados sold for $7,925 this week. And lastly, for our Shining cards, we had this first edition Shining Charizard that sold for $13,799 as a PSA 10. Alright, a couple of heavy-hitting Neo cards here. We had a first edition Umbreon from Neo Discovery sell for $8,915. And then the Entei sold for $10,347. The Entei from this set, once again, reached the 5-figure mark this week in value. We had an unlimited sealed Gym Challenge booster box sell this week for over $10,000. Not too shabby for an unlimited box, if you ask me. A couple cards from the Gym series. We have the Erica's Venusaur Holo. This is unlimited PSA 10 that sold for $1,550. We had a Rocket Scyther first edition sell for $3,119. Blaine's Moltres first edition sell for $4,100. Oh, gosh, I wish I could get my hands on this card, you know? And then we had a Blaine's first edition Charizard PSA 10 sell for $5,800 this week. Team Rocket set. We had a booster box first edition sell for $13,100. It's been lower than what we've seen in the past couple months. But the cards haven't been too bad here. We had a first edition Dark Raichu Secret Rare sell for $2,352. We had Dark Blastoise first edition sell for $3,264. And then the Dark Charizard from the set sold for $4,519 this week. From Fossil set, we had a first edition booster box sell for $12,300. Once again, underperforming from what we've seen in the past. We had the 4 heaviest hitting cards from the set come by an auction. This Gengar sold for $1,925. The Lapras sold for $3,000 even this week. The Dragonite from the set sold for $4,128. And then we had an Articuno, which is very interesting here. We had an Articuno sell for $4,280, and another one sold for $2,225. So I gotta believe that the one that sold for over $4,000 must have been shill bidded, because the one that sold for $2,225 seems like the much more realistic price. If you compare the backs of them, they look almost identical. One is not really stronger than the other. They both have the same certification series number. So yeah, I gotta believe that the one for $4,000 must have been shill bidded. Maybe I'm wrong here, I don't know, but Articuno seems to be valued more in the $2,000 range than the $4,000 range. Alright, in Jungle set, we had a first edition booster box, supposedly sold for $27,600, which once again does not seem realistic. This box is closer to the $15,000 range, so I'm thinking that this box must have been shill bid. It doesn't make sense that it went for $27,000, but anywho, we had a Snorlax first edition from this set sell for $7,700, which this card used to sell for over $10,000 all day. So as of right now, the current price for it is about $7,700 for a PSA 10. Alright, base set here. We had a first edition base set pack. This is a Charizard artwork, sealed base set pack that sold for $4,053, which is crazy to think that these packs sold in the Logan Paul box break auctions for $40,000 plus. So, I mean, I know it's a different circumstance here. This isn't the Logan Paul auction pack, but it's crazy to see the exact same thing sell for 90% less than what it did a couple months ago. Alright, the first edition base set starters in PSA 10 took quite a dip in price this week. We had Squirtle sell for around $726, Charmander sold for around $960, the Yellow Cheeks Pikachu sold for about $1,919, and then the Bulbasaur was the winner here that sold for $3,200 as the PSA 10. So Bulbasaur has always been the lowest pop of the base set starters. So I guess that's why it fetched the premium price this week in comparison to the others. Alright, some Charizard cards to go over. We have some Charizard cards from all kinds of generations. This one here is an EX Crystal Guardians Charizard card in PSA 10 that sold for $1,750. And then we had the Stormfront Charizard in PSA 10 that sold for $6,000 even this week. A couple of base set Charizards here. We had an unlimited English base set Charizard that sold for $12,601, and one here with a old as dirt label that sold for $10,300. We had a French first edition Charizard card in PSA 9 that sold for $18,600. And then we had the PSA 10 first edition Korean Charizard sold for $20,101. We had a Spanish first edition base set booster box sell for $20,200. And in that box, you have the opportunity to get a first edition Spanish PSA 10 Charizard that sold for $39,500 this week. From the 1997 Card-Ass set, we have a Charizard Prism card in PSA 10 that sold for $5,603. We had a couple of Japanese base set BGS 10 Pristine cards come by. One sold for $7,222. Another one sold for $7,100 this week. We had the Blueback Charizard from the Japanese Top Sun set in PSA 10 that sold for $25,000 this week. A couple of Japanese booster boxes here. We had the E-Series Expedition first edition Japanese box sell for $15,579, and then we had the Japanese Neo Genesis booster box sell for $16,300 this week. And the auction of the week goes to the first edition Lugia from Neo Genesis. Let's compare here. We have a BGS 9. This is a mint copy that sold for $3,100. And take a look at this, folks. I'm sure you already heard, but the BGS 10 Pristine Lugia from this set sold for $144,300 this week. Just look at the difference in price there. Both are mint copies. Obviously, the one on the right is a pristine copy from Beckett, just fetching an exponentially higher price than that of the BGS 9. What do y'all think of that? Thank you all for watching. What do y'all think of these auctions? Be sure to give this video a like. Next week, I will be doing the video in person, so we'll be looking forward to that. I apologize I wasn't able to do it this week. So once again, thanks for watching, and I will catch y'all in the next video.